This is an overview of the Coach's Edge game planning system, and this is our standard blank. The difference between the standard and the up tempo is that the standard is going to have less plays. With an up tempo practice, an up tempo team, we're assuming there are more practice reps available. With any situation, regardless of what team you are, there are a finite number of practice reps available. So in this scenario, in the standard rep, we have 165 reps available throughout the week. This particular format splits it between run and pass, about 50-50. If you want to get a different mix, that's a capability of this. You can adjust it and customize this to meet your own needs very easily. You are not tied to a specific ratio. You can make it what you want, run and pass. So starting from the left, practice periods, basically there's three designations, IRT, 7v7. So IR, your inside run or your group run periods. Some teams add perimeter in that also. Again, you are not tied to this. This is for organization purposes only. Team periods are your 11-on-11 periods, and 7-on-7 or skelly periods. Teams call those different things, but basically that's your pass-only periods. So we'll start at the top here. We have our base inside runs, and these are going to be practiced in inside run. Later in the week, they're also going to be put into team. Going across here, the down and distance or situation is simply to help you see and think about what situations you might use these in. So the whole idea is you're going to have some analytics based on all the breakdowns you've done. You're going to have some insight in how you want to attack a team. And then this helps make those decisions. So you're going to designate 6 inside runs. Some teams are run heavy and they want to plan more. That's where you can add into these here some of the base runs, or you can structure these however you want. But the main idea, as you get into maybe some third down runs and you're expecting pass more and you're practicing that in practice, you can add those in more team periods. Perimeter runs, obviously you don't want to do those in an inside run period, though some teams will run a full run period, but those are practiced here. So you could take these runs and script them across. Again, it's how you practice. These will fit into your format. The whole idea, though, is that you're going to save a ton of time, and that once this game plan board is filled out, you have everything you need for the week. So going across, then, you have a space for tempo. Some teams do put that in their play call: personnel, formation, motion, and play. WB stands for the standard wristband that's set up within this template, whether you choose it or not. And then defense 1, 2, and 3 allows you to script a defense. So now you can put the defense in that you want to see throughout the week. You can mix these up, but typically these will be the defenses used in practice 1, 2, and 3. And again, those are all based on your data and breakdown. You do need to enter the play for the left hash and the right hash, because hashes are an important part of the script. But again, once those are entered, you are finished. Now, some teams might say, I only want to run a certain play out of a certain formation to the left, and they don't have a play for the other hash. So you have the choice that you can just repeat that play because maybe it's not hash sensitive and you can put it on both sides, or you could put another play in this slot. Again, completely customizable. The run checks are for team periods. So you're going to want to see maybe where safeties are aligned, safeties in the box, or maybe it's checked to the right or left based on a certain defender, or based on a certain technique of a defensive lineman where he aligns. But those allow for run checks, or you might repeat some of these runs. Could be your perimeter runs that are repeated as well. For a team that likes to pass more than run and wants to practice that way in practice, these could be passes because, again, they're in a team period. The main thing you don't want to do is take your pass skelly and put runs in it, and take your inside run periods and put passes in it. And that's how this is organized, and the color codings show that. Coming out in 4 minute are typically plays that are scripted for situations where you are run heavy. Everybody knows you're going to run. You have to do something to either run out the clock or bring the ball out from underneath the shadow of your own goalpost. So that's what these plays are designed for. You could put a run, you could put a pass in here. Again, these are done in team. But you make your decisions and those fit in here. And then your players start to get used to how you practice and why you're doing certain things. Goal line plays are scripted in this section here. Some teams carry those over and don't have a separate goal line package. That would be the opportunity to get other plays. There are other plays scripted up here. They're reps just in a different area. Other teams carry a specific goal line package. That would be fine to put those here. Again, there's 4 runs in this area, and the weekly reps are shown here, 4-3, 4-3. The next section includes your passes. In the first section are your play actions and quicks. It could be a mix of those. It might be all quicks. It might be all play action. It could be your screens. The important thing, though, is you see that these are scripted in team periods. Most teams like their play action, their quick game, their screen game in periods where there's 11 in field spacing. The demeanor of the defense is important. Dropbacks are done in both team and 7-on-7. This allows for up to 6 different concepts. Concepts can be repeated here. Certainly play action or quick game could be added here as well if you don't mind practicing those in 7-on-7. Then we get into our red zone and pre-red zone areas starting at the 35 to 25. This is a chance to put in some specials possibly, script a play action shot or a fully protected drop back shot. From 35 to 25, those might also be 2nd and 1 situations as well. Red zone, kind of pre-red zone, just into the red zone, 25 to 18. Again, this designates some play calls, 3 of each, as you're starting to run out of vertical space on the field. 2 plays are scripted from the 17 to 12, and 2 plays from the 11 to 8. Inside of there, you can go into your goal line passes. But the whole idea is that you're either taking a shot to the end zone or you're creating some space for the run after the catch. The important thing, though, is that there's going to have to be some kind of adjustment as vertical space disappears so that routes don't bleed into each other and receivers don't get into the same zones to compress the field unintentionally. Third downs are planned then, going from 3rd and extra long all the way to 3rd medium in this section, with 1 play scripted for 3rd and extra long, then 3rd and long 2 plays, and 4 3rd and mediums. 3rd medium receiving more because you're in these situations more. And then 2-point plays or passes from the 3-yard line are scripted here. Once this is filled in, all of these slots, which are white, everything else remains untouched, the game plan is done and your practices are scripted. Where these get scripted are at the end, and you see that, okay, practice 1, inside run, right hash, left hash, number of plays that you're going to get of each. So it tells you where the practice reps are during each practice. So it could be an inside run period, a team period, 7-on-7, practice 2, practice 3, etc. Once those are all filled in, then your practice script will be auto-filled. All of these sections will appear as you have put them on the game plan board, and your practice is scripted. You can change and color these columns if you want. Again, it's completely customizable. If you don't want the wristband, don't want tempo, or don't want any of these columns, you can hide those columns, and that won't appear on your printout. Again, the defense can be scripted each day. So whatever defense you want to see, you can add that and you're going to have the defense scripted for you as well. Practice 1 is more of a base practice, looking at your base looks. In practice 2, you get into goal line, red zone, and 3rd downs and practice situational defense along with your top runs here, and some of your drop back passes will appear in there as well. But for the most part, you're working your situations in your team periods. Practice 3 allows for a review. Is set up in such a way that you're working some of your base, some of your thirds, some of your red zone. Work a goal line period at the front, not necessarily for a heavy contact period, but for the timing and repetition that's needed to practice those plays. And then you see you have a type of a mock game scripted down the line here, working on different situations throughout practice in different places on the field. After this, you have your wristbands and your call sheets. If you choose to use the quarterback wristbands, they're set up to be 3 of them, your base calls, your third down calls, and your other situational calls. And the call sheets are done just the same. Again, any of these columns can be color coded to fit your needs. You see the third down wristband, the third down calls broken up by hash and distance, situational wristband, situational calls broken up by the hash and the situation, coming out 4 minute, goal line, short yardage backed up, pre-red zone shots, red zone passes in the different areas, and 2-point plays. All of these can be printed out and give you your game plan worksheet, so other coaches could be filling in certain areas of this. You could come together as a staff. This is also something that you can print a little bit bigger and put up on the board and fill those slots in, and then come back to the worksheet on the computer and fill them in. Your openers are done manually, anywhere from 10 to 25, depending on what your philosophy is there, but you have a slot where you can plan your openers. And then post-game report. So this just reflects every call that you put into here, the amount of reps you had in practice. It will auto-translate the tempo, personnel, whatever you put in those slots across here. And then you just manually go through and put in the number of times that it's called, and it will calculate the percentage based on the reps. So maybe you work something 8 times during the week and you see that you didn't call it. That's something to take note of and figure out why that happened, so it gives you some quality control in this report.